decided to challenge the God of Israel on national TV. And as soon as he got done challenging the God of Israel, he died from a heart attack on the spot. You can't tell me that's a coincidence. That the man is talking crazy about Yahweh and said that Israel will suffer the wrath of Allah and died. Don't believe me, roll the clip.
Kurtulsanız vicdan azabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Vicdan azabından kurtulsanız tarihin azabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Tarihin azabından kurtulsanız Allah'ın gazabından kurtulamayacaksınız. Hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Birleşime 20 dakika ara veriyorum.
I would venture to say, maybe this is one of those biblical examples where you find out which God is real, right? You challenge Yahweh to lift up the wrath of Allah and you die. That to me tells me that maybe, just maybe, Yahweh is the true God and Allah is not. Maybe. Some people may say he was a prophet and he gave his last speech and then Allah took him to meet the virgins. But I would venture off to say that that's kind of serious. For you to challenge Israel in a way like that, and after you make the declaratory challenge to say that they cannot escape the torment of history and the wrath of Allah, and he go, block, and the spirit left him. It reminds me of Ananias and Sapphira when they were talking to the apostles, and they supposedly sold something, but they lied and they didn't sell something. And he said, you didn't lie to me, but you lied to the Holy Ghost. And it says that the spirit left them, like they died, right on the spot, for lying to God. Now, I know a lot of people lie to God all day long and they don't die, but this was one of those situations where I think people need to start paying attention. God sent these people back to Israel. The things that the Jews are experiencing and the things that the Jews have accomplished are prophetic things. You cannot stop the Jewish people for returning back to the land that God had already made out for them. And anybody getting in the way of that, I think they are going to face the wrath of God. That's why nobody's been able to defeat Israel since they've been in the region, since they made their comeback. And I honestly believe it. And people may say I'm biased because I believe the Bible, but it's their land. And they have made the land flourish. Now, is every Jewish person a good person? No. Is every Jew following the Torah? No. Some of them probably out there cutting up. But generically speaking, or generally speaking, when you talk about God's promise to certain people that uphold his laws and principles, there is a reward.
It amazes me at how people will take these type of opportunities to try to increase the involvement of their deity over someone else's deity or in the lives of man, and not even contemplate or think about the laws of cause and effect. If this young man had done any research on this gentleman, Hassan Bitmez, then one of the things that he would have found out is that he already had a long history of diabetes. And in having that long history of diabetes, he has also already had 2 heart stents put in place. So was it your God, or was it the fact that this man already had a heart condition and this man already had been dealing with diabetes, to which we know one of the things of being a diabetic is that you're more prone to heart attacks and strokes. But he conveniently left those things out. And instead, he wants to make this story seem like this God at this moment decided that he wanted to utilize this man as an example of that his God is the real God. When people die every day of different causes, and every day people say, fuck this God, fuck Yahweh, to hell with Yahweh, Yahweh can kiss my ass, Yahweh ain't shit. I'm still alive. I didn't. People do it all the time. All the time. Every day, people talk against this deity, but yet you have your one instance where then you want to jump on this bandwagon and say, oh, he did it because this God said you will not speak ill of these children of Israel. And you're talking about Israelis who went back to this land, and you said that this God gave them back this land. No, it was Great Britain and the United States that gave them this land and forced the Palestinians out of their land, that forced the people who were already living there, the people who were Palestinians who had Palestinian passports, forced them to convert over to Israeli passports and rename the land Israel and put in their own puppet regime. You're saying your God did this. And then to say that no one has been able to defeat them since they have taken this land, well, that would be one, that would be difficult since they have two of the biggest bullies on the block, the United States and Israel, as their supporters, and received $3 billion in $3 billion in can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but basically received $3 billion a year from the United States in order to continue to prop up their military and solidify their regime in Israel. Yeah, it would be very difficult. And considering that the only countries that they have fought are countries that are equal or less than in their military abilities, then yes, of course that. But to say that would be like saying that since God, if people who say that God established America and no one has been able to take America since then, that it is God protecting America for that. Well, no one's been able to take Russia either. They imploded on themselves as far as the USSR is concerned, but they still have maintained being Russia, and they don't worship your God. You're not taking China. China has still been there, and guess what? They don't worship your God either. So that's not a valid argument as far as them not being able to take that land. If America ever decided it wanted Israel, it can take Israel. If China decided it wanted Israel and America didn't intervene, China can take Israel. Russia can take Israel. There are plenty of countries in this world that if they felt like it, they can take Israel. They ain't that good. I mean, they're great military fighting tactics and abilities, but they couldn't withstand a bigger bully coming on the block to do so. So the idea that you would utilize these out of the dark instances to prop up your God just shows your lack of thought and your lack of research, because like I said before, this man had already been suffering from heart disease, and this man has already been suffering from diabetes and complications of diabetes. So him dying at any moment, it is a coincidence. It is most assuredly a coincidence, because as I said before, there are plenty of people who talk about this group. And if this guy was so adamant about that, why did he let the Jewish people in Germany suffer for so long before Adolf Hitler took his own life? Why did he let them suffer so long? They were upholding their standards when they were living there, but yet this guy did not intervene. He allowed millions of them to die. And for what? For what? There was absolutely no need for all those deaths. And the fact that you're celebrating this, the fact that you think this is the act of a just God, also demonstrates your lack of morality when you would celebrate a man's death by claiming your God did it because he talked about Israel getting their comeuppance, and you think that it's a good thing. I really feel for anybody who's in your immediate circle that you have contact with or that you influence. So you have a great day. But remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.